All right. This is Sophie. I have to make sure I'm saying it right. Helenek?
Yes.
Helenek. Okay. So this is my podcast, and it's called, you ready? I'll Call My Guy. So I don't know if you, as sort of not a native English speaker, I want to talk to you about this idiom that's there. So there's this concept, like it's usually called, like the funny joke always is like, I got a guy. Like that's like sort of an Italian American, like I got a guy, like, like, oh, my furnace is broken. I got a guy. Or like, I need this, I need tickets to this event. I got a guy. That wasn't around. So I called it, I'll Call My Guy, and guy meaning not just a man, guy, a person, like, and the theme is talk to interesting people about their lives, but also I try to weave it back to relationships and the importance of relationships and connections with people. So that's the theme. And so I wanted you on because we just met by the happenstance, right? Just pure luck. Like we were both on a panel, and I think Sophie was on there, and I'm like, who is this? I've never heard of her. Like I do all this type of work, and I looked her up, and I'm like, holy shit! Like you're like a monster, like a machine, like a I don't know, like a robot, I don't know. I'm speechless for the words because you've accomplished so much and you're so young, and that it's the achievement. I just couldn't even believe it. I couldn't believe what I was reading. So I think I was chatting with you on the thing. I'm like, you're coming on my podcast, and I'd known you for like 8 minutes.
Yes.
And I'm like, and I wrote to Sammy. And I'm like, Google her right away. Like, who is this person? She lives within, like, I breathe the same air as her.
Yes.
Like, what is this? So, holy shit. So I have so much to talk to you about. I've been thinking about this for weeks because you've obviously accomplished so much in a short period of time. And usually I just can't believe you live amongst us. So I have a lot of, I have a lot of admiration for you, and I want to learn so much about you. So how old are you, first of all? I know you're not supposed to ask a woman this, but we do this in America.
I'm 46.
You had to think about it?
Yeah, because I always see myself older.
Quel âge as-tu?
Yeah. No, I'm 46. I'm
46?
I'm born in 79.
79. Okay,
yes.
You're 46. All right.
I just want to say something. Is I gave a talk to... I was invited by a French company to talk to a French executive. So it was years ago, and then they actually flew me in Nepal because they wanted to do this big summit, and I was the key person. Anyway, so it happened to be April Fool's Day, and now we're in the middle of the mountains, and I'm just talking about me and what I did, and everybody thought I was an April Fool's Day person. Like, whatever.
Which day are you saying?
April Fool's Day.
Oh, April Fool's Day. Oh, yeah.
So everybody thought I was kind of
a joke.
I was a joke. But then because no one could double check what I was saying, because again, we're in the Himalayas in the middle of nowhere.
No internet.
And no internet. So it was just very funny. It's like, it's impossible that this person can do all those different things. So it was just to go back on what you're saying.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So
it was just funny.
So
you said that.
So 46. Yeah. And so your story is remarkable. So you grow up in France.
Yes.
In Paris?
No, so near Paris, in Versailles. I mean, exactly the town.
Oh, Versailles.
It's Clignancourt, so it's like literally the town next to Versailles.
Okay, all right, but you'd go to. Versailles is a close trip from Paris, right?
Yeah,
it's hour and a half.
10 miles. No, it's like 10 miles.
10 miles. All right, so you're the suburb of Paris.
Yeah.
And so, as a child, obviously, you're from Paris, basically, but it's a suburb of Paris, right? Right. If you live in, if you lived in, I don't know, here, like if you lived in South Windsor, which is 10 miles from Hartford or West Hartford, you'd say I'm from the greater Hartford area.
Yeah, but you know the French.
I know the French. Right. Much different.
Yeah.
But as a kid, you probably go to Paris all the time, right? That's...
No? I was going to Versailles all the time. But no, you go to the... you go to the Louvre, or you go to those. But it's really not like you don't go like it's just so it's very local. It's very interesting.
Oh, interesting. You don't go into the
No,
the
you
city.
don't. You manufacture. I really rarely go to Paris. But then I end up studying in Paris, and I moved to Paris.
I see.
But you just don't. You just really stay.
Okay, so you grow up. Is your mother? Are you an intact family, like mother and father in the home?
No. So my parents were separated when I was, I don't know, maybe 3 years old.
Okay, so right, and then, but were they both in your life?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So divorced young, but your parents are both there. Any siblings?
Yes, I had two sisters. So I'm the middle child.
Oh, well, this says
now
a lot.
Exactly.
Now it's all coming clear.
Yes,
because my daughter Ruby, who's the middle child, is you guys are a thing, there's a special thing about you.
Well, it's because if you think about it, I mean, I did think about that you're not the first. So you're not you're just not the first on everything because you're not the eldest. And then you're not the youngest either. So you're really in the middle. Like you have no place.
That's interesting. The birth order. There's books on this. I mean, people study this stuff, and and there's always a sense, at least with my daughter, like that's not fair. They're always weighing things, like you gave them this, and it's always out of her side eye. Like, well, wait a second, you didn't give me this. How do I balance that out?
For me, it was more that it's just. I come from a family where there's no sport at all. There is and I'm French, so we don't really emphasize the whole extracurricular activity. So it's kind of where I went and expressed myself, but it's really there's no value to it. There's no oh my God, you did that. It didn't really matter. So really I feel the first one, you just break new frontier and barriers. Oh my God, that the first in high school and the first to going to the baccalaureate and those kind of things. And the last one is just you just want to pamper them. And then the middle one, you just in the flow. In the French society, it's a little bit different. There's no, because it's just it's schooling, okay? It's you just have to be good at school, at least in my family.
Oh, I see. Okay. So are you, what did your parents do for a living?
So my mother retired pretty young, and she was a professor.
Okay.
She was... So she was doing engineering.
She's an engineer.
Not engineering. She's a PhD in technology.
Okay, all right. So she's a PhD. So obviously very educated, smart woman.
Yes, and my dad.
And she taught at university level or elementary?
Yes, sorry. So yes, so she was
teaching adults.
Yes, so she was in a university. She was working at the Center Research of the National Center Research of in IT basically.
Okay.
So she was working on modelization, and I actually end up loving that. So I end up following a little bit of path on that.
Okay.
And then my dad he was a business owner. He passed away a few years ago, and he was
So he was and educated as well.
No.
No, but obviously probably a very smart guy. He's got his own business.
It's more like it's more like this self-made guy.
Street smarts.
So he's coming from I think he was more like this rebellious person. So his dad died very young. Actually, my grandfather was in the dictionary, just create new thing. He was an aeronautic engineer. Everybody in my side family is a doctors, a MD doctors. Right. And on my mother's side, they're all doctors, but from a PhD standpoint. So engineering versus medical. And my dad really, I don't know, he just wanted to say no to the system and just
do his own thing.
Do his own thing and his own pace, and was just his rebellious kind of, I'm going to make it happen in a different way.
And what kind of business was it?
It was not a successful man. It just wanted to claim his independence. It was not about money in his end. So he was doing selling some machines to companies.
Okay, all right.
But it was just more it just a choice. It just chose this life. Yeah. It was just a different one.
So right. So so you're both your parents after the divorce lived in the Versailles area.
Yeah. So they live close by.
Okay.
And then we were doing, but in France you don't need to really divorce. So they were separated for 18 years or whatever. And then because it doesn't matter. There's no. And then anyway, my mother remarried when I was maybe 19, 18, and then.
The French seem to be more open or not as strict about monogamy.
Oh my God, it's not about monogamy. They were actually separated, but just
but
didn't
I'm saying,
divorce.
But am I right about that though?
I mean, honestly, my feeling is and as a concept, I feel that how hard it is to ask one person to be able to be the dad, your best friend, your lover, you just too many hats. So I don't think it's really fair.
Oh, that's interesting. See that culturally, yeah. You see, right? No, but I when I've talked to other French, other cultures about the Italians have a similar sort of view. It's you're here such a short period of time, and they view it as, look, this person can provide for me, can love me, but they give more deference to the men about this, particularly.
Well, I mean, there's like different things, like what, like I feel that sometimes people, they just want to have maybe like, let's say like you're married, and then, I mean, let's say that everything goes well and sexually is great, but it's not your best friend. So you just have to go on the other cycle. You're going to guess the best friend and you can get that. So you just need...
But you can still love and be with them.
But you tap where you... Like, you tap what you need in the pool you need. But that is my vision.
No, but that's French cultural vision, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of...
Yeah, right. That's not just... Yes. You're not an outlier there. I think that's more common, I think, in France. In America, there's a much different view, as you know, right? It's like... It tends to be like, this is it. You don't even look at anybody, like in.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying it's like accepted in a sense, like if your husband say, "Oh, I'm cheating on you," like you don't not necessarily okay with that either. But I think you may be more understanding and it's like, okay, well, that was a mistake. Let's just try to work on that.
Oh, I see.
Or it is something has to be done in your system. Let's just sometimes. Sometimes it happens.
That's interesting. All right, so let's see. So you're sort of a typical childhood.
Yeah, kind of.
Typical childhood. And then when do you start getting involved with athletic activities?
Well, actually, I'm not necessarily typical in a sense because I have dyslexia. There's a lot of things I couldn't do. I couldn't really speak well. I couldn't hear well. So actually, and again, this whole middle-child stuff. So I really just find myself in sport as a way of expressing myself. So I always give life of something. When I was playing tennis, it was not about like playing tennis. It was, of course, the community and the new family. What is okay, let's just step back for a second. In France, there's no concept of you play sport at school. Okay, it doesn't exist. So you don't have college sport. It absolutely doesn't exist. Like high school sport is just not... It's
not part of the culture.
No, it does not exist. It's not even a thing. You don't even have that offered from school standpoint. It just not...
School is school is school.
Yes, it does not exist as a concept. Like the cheerleading thing, it's mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing for you.
Like we don't even understand the concept. At all.
How about band?
Oh my God, there's
marching
nothing.
bands and all that stuff?
No, but there's none of that.
None of it.
Like nothing. Literally nothing. For real.
So you go to school, you come home. You don't go stay afterwards to play tennis or to football or
No,
nothing.
you don't. Yeah, you don't.
It's kept separate.
It is. It's totally different identity. Totally. There's no... I mean, there's clubs so college for us is middle school, and it's very limited to bridge, to chess, to stuff that it's just like you can maybe go in a room and you do your thing, but that's it.
That's it. Okay.
I mean, very limited. So when I say I play sport, you have to go either at night late or during the Saturday morning, but you have access to just different individual, and it's just really nice because you have a different connection, and because I was doing okay. So when I was 11 years old, I was playing with adults because of my level. So then it was just right away you have a different pool of, access of a different type of family. And I really enjoy that. But I was saying about how I see sport is just kind of expressing yourself. So when I was playing tennis, it was a racket, it was an extension of me. And then let's say I play against you, I'm going to just say, okay, what is your strength? And I'm going to just go towards your strengths to make it a weakness. So it was kind of playing a chess game in some ways, and it's how I start getting involved with
chess.
Well, me playing tennis, it looks like I was playing chess.
Oh, I see.
Because what is your strength? Usually your forehand is your strength. I was hammering on your forehand. So your forehands become little bit more weak. So therefore now I go on your weakness, which now you totally lost it. Because if your strengths become little bit a weakness, then your weakness become a disaster, correct?
I see.
So anyway, so my point is I use sport to really allow me to just express myself, in the strategy, in the intensity, in the language. Yeah.
So you go. So what's the first sport that you start?
I did gymnastics when I was very, very young for 1 year. Okay. But I had vertigo on those parallel things. Yeah. So it was too scary for me. Right. And then I played tennis. And then around like, I was doing fine. And then after that, I did judo. I did fine. And then went to school. And then in my 20s, like, I'm like, okay, I would like to become a world champion something. What can I do? And I'm like, what about fencing? And I did fencing.
And then did you excel at fencing?
Yeah, I did a World Cup.
What?
Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah.
World Cup in fencing?
Yeah.
And, okay, but all right, let's take a step back here. So how do you, like, how soon do you do, like, how quickly do you become good at fencing?
Oh, just immediately.
And you just had a knack for it? Like, is it just like you just did it? Were you practicing like 5 days a week?
Okay, so the way I approach life in general, and I think why I'm so good at everything, it's because I never start.
That's a big statement. Why I'm so good at everything.
Well, I kind of am, not in an arrogant way. No, but not in an arrogant way. I'm just in a kind of like just benchmark way.
All right, tell me this. Give me the secret.
Okay, my secret is I never start from zero. So I always reuse what I have. So for instance, when I go, for instance, when I do rugby, I used my judo to just tackle people. For instance, when I learn climbing, I use my tennis technique. It looks like I'm just doing a service, a smash.
Right.
So I never start from zero.
Okay,
I
but
just
that's
capitalize on
everyone.
everything. Not really, because a lot of time people, they try to learn like the way it's supposed to be, but I'm just kind of like piggyback on what I have. It's like almost if you climb up a pyramid, but I just only take the block.
I'm going to push you a little bit here.
Yes.
So but if you're an athlete, let's say you're a major league baseball player,
Yes.
right? Like, and they want to go do fencing.
Yes.
Like, they're not going to start from zero, right? They have they're in good shape. They can run. They can throw.
Yes.
Like but not all of them are going to be able to World Cup in fencing and then climb Mount Everest.
Yes.
There's something like I just don't think that I'm not buying that it's just you start from nothing, because nobody starts from nothing. We always have our experiences. Yeah. There's got to be more. There's got to be something else.
It does. Well, I guess for me, I don't know.
I want to think about it because
honestly, like I don't know. I just don't. For instance, when I climb Everest, I didn't even know what Everest looked like. I thought it was another mountain. I'm like, oh, Everest is beautiful. I was literally now like I flew to Lukla. So like now,
right, don't get to Everest yet.
But my point of the matter is like I don't follow the book. Like for instance, you see me fencing, and then like I just show up. So the long story short is I was in Paris,
right.
And I saw a demonstration of fencing,
right.
And I'm like, oh, that looks fun. So it was a demonstration because it was the Olympic game at the time.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, so I went there and I'm like, oh, where can I learn that?
And how old are you?
At the time I was 22.
So 22, you said, how could I learn that? But there's this theory of 10,000 hours to become an expert and all that.
I don't believe it.
You don't believe in it? So how do you look? But don't you have to go every night after work or school and fence and fence and fence?
No.
You just.
Okay.
How long does it take you from the first time you pick up what's it called, the sword? The sword to World Cup?
Okay, so let me tell you. So when I say I want to do that, it was épée. So you have 3 sports in fencing. Okay. You have épée, foil, and saber.
What you got to say this AP?
Épée is like the long sword.
Okay.
And then you bounce, and you have to be usually tall. Anyway, so I did that once, and then I got the sword go be like underneath my kneecap, and it looks like my own kneecap was
the patella,
like open, like the kneecap here.
Yeah, the patella, yeah.
And then anyway, so I'm like, I don't like, it's too slow for me. So I went to see the teacher at the end. I'm like, I don't like it. It's a little bit too slow. Do you have something faster? Because I kind of know what I like. So then they said, well, you should try saber. So saber, épée, you touch your whole body. Saber, you touch only the top, including your head and your hand. And foil, you can touch only the torso. So so they said, you should try saber, and here you should go there. I'm like, okay. So next thing I know, I show up on Monday as a beginner. And then I did it. The second Monday, I just, again, just went to the practice. And then they said, well, you should come tomorrow, which was Tuesday, for the intermediate level. So you see, it's my second time I did.
Second day?
Yes, my second. So I'm like, okay. And then they said, well, you could come the day after. And then it was one day for competition. I'm like, okay. And then after that, I did that. And then in 3 weeks later, I did the French, you have to understand, is like the top 5 sport. Like, I mean, it's our sport.
Fencing is French.
Fencing, it's really big in France.
Okay.
It's like the top 5.
Right, okay.
Sport. No, I'm just saying it's not an obscure sport in France.
Right.
So anyway, after 3 weeks, I went to the competition, Paris competition, and I finished second. And then a few weeks later, I did the other competition, which is the whole Île-de-France, the whole like the whole New York plus the boroughs, basically. And then I finished second. But because I start late fencing, then you can, if you finish on the top 3, or no, the top 2, out of those 3 competitions, then you can go to the French tournament.
Right.
But because I did really well on those only 2 competitions, I earned my position
Sophie,
to the French
team. You see like how I'm perplexed by you, because you have to have a gift. This doesn't, you can't, like, all of the studies and all, we've looked at all of this stuff, and we find that typical people, right, like this takes years. Like you drive your kid, you have to go every day, you have to be, and Saturdays, like the kids that get really good in soccer, like they go to the Premier League, right, or Serie A or La Liga, whatever it is in France, like you ask their parents, they were outside kicking goals in the middle of winter every day for hours and hours and hours and hours to get that good.
Yeah.
And you're telling me after the 3rd day you're already advancing. There's got to be, you must have the universe, God, whatever you believe in, you must have something different.
Honestly, it's like one of my key moves was actually happened to be one of the most difficult one, but for me, I got it very easily. I mean, I don't know if I can demonstrate to you, but the bottom line is you have to basically, you do a fake start. So you open your foot like that. You do a small step. Then your opponent believes you're going to go for it, so he's attacking you. Then you do a perfect length of the back step, and then you touch him. But that is difficult because you have the gut to do a first step, go backwards.
Most people, that takes years.
Well, the truth is that's my big problem. Is, for instance, when I went to this international competition in fencing, then it was very difficult because a lot of people were really mad at me because they thought I was not respecting the sport because I was going too fast. When I climbed Everest, it's the same story. I just kind of started climbing and I did all those things. And I have the same issue all the time. People even when I was a climber, people tried to get me dead many times because they don't feel I'm respecting. It's almost too easy. I'm smiling and I'm all happy, and everybody's suffering.
Wow.
So it's not something that I understand that. I mean, it's not fun for me to have to deal with that.
No, of course not. It's because people are jealous. They probably don't because again, you could see my reaction. I think it's wonderful. It's amazing because to me, I think you have something special because you've short-circuited or have gone around if you say that you have a young kid and says, Daddy, I want to be a soccer. I'd say, okay, we got to go out every day after school for an hour. You got to be kicking goal. I can't just say hey, go there and get there. You just did that, and so that unsettles people. That's unsettling.
I know, but you see, for instance, my family, I didn't even tell them I start fencing, and then when I went to the World Cup, I was below the French flag. I'm hey, I was at my first autograph. Well, it was when I just started, so it was 3 months later after I started.
Come on.
It's true.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
Do you realize?
No, but you cannot go straight to the World Cup. So what you have to do is you have to first, you have a tournament for low people like me, and then you have to qualify, and then is how I qualify.
But you realize, though, do you know that this is nuts what you're telling me? Do you know that, though?
I don't. Well, I don't
nuts
know.
not in a bad way, not crazy, but nuts. I mean, unbelievable, incroyable. It's just not even. You can't. Right?
That's why everybody thought that was a Fool's Day joke.
No, but right. I mean, that's not typical. There's probably 2 people that have ever done that. Maybe 1.
Yeah. I don't.
So you do that. Okay. So after fencing, you say enough fencing. I want something else.
Well, no. So what happened then? People wanted me to start getting serious on the fencing, but then I actually, I don't know, just decided to. Well, I decided to just go abroad.
Okay,
which was another fun story, though.
Where do you go?
Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, I do. But tell me where you went.
To New York City.
Oh, right, because you wanted to. So you don't speak a lick of English.
No.
Right, your thick French accent, and you say, I want to go to New York and I'm going to go work for a French bank.
No, I just said. So I had someone. So at the time I was doing a co-op MBA. So you just do, you work and then you do your MBA. So anyway, as I was working, then I was working close to someone from Deloitte. And then she was older, she was 26, and in French is old, and then you just like, okay, well, actually couldn't change. When you're in a path, it's very difficult to change path. And she said, well, I need to go abroad. I'm like, okay. So I remember that it was at this Japanese restaurant, and me and this other person was Raja, which was with me as a kind of an internship. We both said, oh, why not going abroad? So then on this Friday, we just went, and then I came back, and I'm like, oh, so I'm gonna do a resume, which of course I didn't speak a word of English. I didn't even know how to do it. So I kind of like scrambled a little bit. I asked someone like, hey, can I have a look? And then at Friday night, I gave my resume, and I was hired on Wednesday. In New York.
At the French bank?
Well, actually, yeah. So I was hired on Wednesday, and on Friday, I was hired as well in Hong Kong, so I could choose. And then my boss was like, well, I don't know, like they said they wanted you in New York. Is it something you would be interested in? I'm like, yeah. But I had a boyfriend at the time.
And how old are you at the time?
I was 24.
24, you show up in New York.
Oh, and I didn't finish my MBA, by the way. I just like, I'm going to go there.
So you go to New York and you move and get an apartment.
With a suitcase.
With a suitcase. And the boyfriend, you get rid of him?
Oh my God, no, I did a terrible thing. What happened is, so no, actually it was a French, he's still a French coach and an international referee in fencing. So, you understand why I stopped fencing. And I switched sport. But anyway, so actually
was he an older man?
Oh, no, he was my age.
Oh, okay.
He was young. But I do like a little bit older men, so I have to be careful. But and that's another story why I like them. But because but no, he was my age. And actually, anyway, so friends kind of borrowed him to US, and then he was becoming a coach here to just train the US athlete, and then. I was here in New York for 6 months. We decided to get married, and I kind of canceled my wedding a week before.
Oh, gosh. Oh, God.
But he was very nice about it.
Oh.
He's like, listen, Sophie, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Don't worry. And that was it.
So you're in New York, 24, and learning the language. How do you learn the language? Just by assimilation, or did you take classes?
Well, first of all, I did math, right? So I just went straight to Wall Street, and I just speak math, so it was fine. But I didn't know even how to write an email. So the girl next to me was an Indian. And then in my crew, there was 17, and we had probably 15 different nationalities. So everybody's super open-minded. And then you just pick it up. But I remember, it was when Bill Clinton wrote a book. It was William Jefferson. It was his biography. Yeah. I got it. I read one page. I'm like, oh my God, I cannot do it. But what's the funniest thing about that is Bill, his name is William, but I didn't.
Oh, you didn't? Oh.
So I said that to when I came back to him, I'm like, can you believe it? His name is William. It was the revolution, And then they start to laugh at me, and they're like, yeah, of course. I'm like, okay. So then I call my French friends. I'm like, can you believe it? Is his name?
Do you have this concept in French? Like, for instance, people named Rich, they often go by the name Dick. Did you know that?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Like Dick, which is also a penis.
Oh, I know.
Right. But so I don't go by Dick, but I have friends whose father's name were Richard, right? Which is my legal name, and they go by Dick. That's their name. Yeah. Or Bob or William is obviously Bill. Does that concept exist in French names?
Not really. I mean, not really. But in America, what is fascinating is you have you can be called Bob, but your real name is Maximus.
Or Robert.
No, it could just be something else
a nickname.
Too. But it's actually become your name.
Comment dit ton nickname?
Surnom.
Surnom, okay.
So you do not
have... surnom? No.
Surnom.
Surnom for a nickname? Yes. Like if I called you Frenchie, like a name, I called you Frenchie because you're French and you're my friend. It's that's a surname?
Yes, it's like the name you just
Okay, like your friends call you, like a funny flower or whatever.
Yeah, it can be
Fleur.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter what it would.
Oh, I see. Okay, all right. So you can, but they don't have the shortened version of it.
You don't.
Like for instance, Margaret. We call people named Margaret Peg.
Oh, really?
Peg.
I didn't know that.
Yes, Peg.
No, I love it. I mean, yeah, people thought Sophie is for Sophia, and I'm like, no, Sophie is for Sophie.
Oh, yeah, because we have that, right? So for instance, Leah, who works for us, her daughter Sophia, we call her daughter Soph.
Yes.
Like just, but that's a nickname, right? Just
Yes.
Sophie, Soph, like it's
Yeah,
short.
yeah.
But okay, all right. So you see that. So how quickly do you get English?
Oh yeah, no. So anyway, and then after that, so you pick it up like just by being, but as well, I dated this guy for like years, like maybe for 4 years. Happened to be the bureau chief of Hollywood Reporter.
Oh,
That was hilarious. When he wanted to be with me at first, I'm like, why? To say, oh, I like you. No, I really don't like you. I didn't know a word of English. But anyways, through him, I learned English.
okay.
A little bit more.
A little bit more.
But I had the word of the week, like look it up. And I was like, my whole week was,
So
hey,
you learned
up?
so you learned by assimilation, just living within the culture and
Totally.
and have no choice but to figure it out.
Yeah, I know. That was interesting to me. It's because when I moved to New York, you have like roommates, and my roommate was a Polish guy, and I'm like, oh, what is that? Like, and he was frying pan. I'm like, oh, how do you spell? He's like, well, I don't know. It was kind of cool. It was really cool. I think what was the most interesting to me, forget the language, it was this concept of like in France, I used to be this kind of fun, very perky, very, very quick, very, very sharp with words. And then here, you just go and you just
it's a reset.
It's like you have to reinvent yourself. Like people don't see you at all they don't think you're smart. They don't think anything of you. It's a very interesting thing, And then when I was saying what I do, they're like, okay, well, she must be smart. But that was the only relationship with anything. You could not really be funny. You cannot be. It's very strange.
Well, it's hard, right? Because there you have to. You could be witty. You know these little expressions,
I know.
Right? And now and this is sort of this is why this is very interesting to me, because you go from 100 to 10.
Yeah, but I didn't leave it like that. I mean, I made a bunch of like friends, and I remember I went to Vegas like that year with all my friends, and then I'm like, and I asked still my boyfriend, I'm like, oh, I learned all these cool words. I said I learned like chick flicks, making out. But that's really cool. Like for me now, like everything has a different meaning. But I think the key moment, and just to go back on how you flip it, is like you realize like just going to a store and ask for your baguette, which just means nothing anymore. And that is an interesting shift. It's kind of when you realize now it is what it is. English is, if you move, let's say, to Japan,
oh, right.
Whatever you're going to realize, whatever you used to be or used to say to get you it's like action reaction, correct? So if you say, I'm going to buy a coffee, and you expecting to have a coffee. But here, if you say it in Japan, they're gonna look at it like, what's going on? So it's where you just have this very, very strong reality check and realizing that whatever you knew, it doesn't matter. It's kind of really cool.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I love the just a quick aside. I think that what I love about French culture. It's different here. Is people are very. I don't find the French rude at all. I find them very polite and formal. Like you greet everybody. You have to start every conversation with bonjour. Like you go to a store, you don't say bon matin. You say like bonjour. And that the first time I ever went to Paris, I was staying in Le Marais, right? Yeah. With my friend Kartik, who I'll have you meet someday. The guy I'm meeting when I'm going to Paris in a couple of weeks. And we were staying there, and I remember going in, and now it's evolved. You can get a coffee to go in France. But for years, like
you have to go. So
I went there, and I order. I'm 19 years old. I'm staying on my friend's couch. I order coffee to go, and the lady's like, "Oh, vous êtes américain?" I'm like, and she tells me that I'll never forget it. She says, the coffee, she said, tastes like what did she say? Oh. Jus de chaussette, which means like the juice of socks. Like she's like, we don't do that here. You sit down and have a coffee. Like, and she brings out a proper coffee, and it's all espresso, right? I mean, it's proper coffee.
Yes.
But you couldn't get a coffee to go. Now there's this whole coffee scene in Paris where you could take a paper cup and they make a coffee to go. It's a thing, but that's sort of the American influence, I think.
Yes.
But you can't go to like a gas station and get a coffee to go like we have here. Like,
I don't think so.
No, they take it seriously. But all right, so how long are you in New York for?
10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
When do you decide you want to climb the highest mountain in the world?
Oh, when I was in New York.
Whoa, so this happened while you're in New York.
Oh yeah, I was still.
So you wake up one day, or you see something on the internet and you say, I'm going to climb the mountain.
No, so yeah, it kind of sounds like it though. No, so I moved here in 2004. And then because the way I used to work in a sensitive job, so to avoid those Ponzi scheme, then the Fed impose you 2 weeks in a row. So you have to take 2 weeks in a row.
Oh, right. In banking, you have to take 2 weeks because if you're doing something illegal, they'll find it.
Exactly.
Right.
And so fast forward. So now I'm like, okay, so 2005, I'm gonna, what do you do? Yes, I went to Cotopaxi, so in Ecuador. So that was my first year, 2000.
But how do you, but what?
So the long story short is I need to take vacation. I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? Oh, I wanted to just cut myself out the world. And and I went to Patagonia. You remember my wedding that I canceled? So so now I have those 2 weeks I have to take. And I'm like, oh my God, I have to do that. So I went to Patagonia.
Where is that?
Patagonia is in Argentina.
So
right.
Okay,
so that's really at the bottom. So what I did is I took 2 weeks. So I went to the Chile side, and like that I saw the penguin, they're still in the egg, and they're just like the burst of penguin. And then I went to the Patagonia. And then when I did this Patagonia trip, you could actually do those small loops of, you can see the Great Glacier, and you can stand doing those hikes. You do for the tourists, there's 30 minutes on ice, with your crampons, and you just get some pisco on the rock or whatever. But it was really, really nice, like this kind of adventure of being away, out of touch. No one can contact you. You're in nature. You do those short walk, but it's kind of cool and chill. And people were awesome. And we end up in Buenos Aires,
do you go with the Hollywood Reporter guy, or?
Oh no.
Just you?
Yeah.
Just get on a plane from New York and...
Oh, yeah, and I take a red eye, and because I don't sleep in New York, I slept literally. And when I arrived in Santiago, I was just like, oh my God, I got in the wrong plane. I mean, it's like, yeah.
And you have somebody you're meeting there?
No, matter of fact, they forget me. I mean, I have people won't forget me. So, no, they forgot me on this one. So I was able to find the way. Just to
and you're there for 2 weeks, and you do these hikes.
So anyway, and so I really like it. So fast forward the next year, then it's now in 2006, and then I'm like, okay, no, it's like 2005, so the year after. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do the same thing, and because I did Patagonia, I need to do something else. So again, I don't take my vacation. Now it's like the end of the year, and I'm like, okay, where do we have a nice weather in Latin America? Ecuador. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to Ecuador. So I found this trip, and it was extreme volcanoes. I'm like, oh, that sounds fancy, but it sounds very off-grid, correct? So I'm like, great. So I go there.
Where is this?
In Ecuador.
Ecuador.
And then at the end, you can climb Cotopaxi, which is the highest active volcano in the world.
And by the way, the Patagonia and Cotopaxi are also names of very high-end clothing.
I know, and I know, but there's but.
So Cotopaxi, so you can climb it. So
no. So first it was just a hike, and then a trek, for 2 weeks in the middle of nowhere. So I got super excited about it. Up something and I remember when they checked the gear, I still didn't really speak well English, and they said, "Well, do you have a water resistant, jacket?" And I'm like, "Well, I have a poncho. I bought one red poncho, the plastic stuff." And I said, water resistant.
Dwayne Reed. That's so funny.
And I'm like, water resistant. And they're like they're high falling. Oh, yeah. But I'm like, and so anyway, so I'm there, and I'm all excited and full of energy. And next thing you know, I'm a bunch of people actually gave up throughout the 10 days, basically. And at the end, there's a Cotopaxi, which is, again, it's kind of a big, not a big deal, but it just feels like a big deal. People were prepping for that. It was a thing. So, and they're like, well, the manager came, he's like, look, you did really well in doing that trek. Do you want to do that? I'm like, well, I don't know. I never even hold the ice axe before having crampons on. It's like, no problem, we teach you. I'm like, okay. So next thing I know, because I had no gear, I have only the 200 poncho, so they gave me the proper gear. And then they show me how to use the ice axe, walk with crampons. And then next thing you know, at midnight, poof, we wake up and we go. So so now we all roped in, and you have small ropes. It's not like a rope with 100 people, correct? We just you have a leader, you have 2 people or 3 people. So we have that, and then in front of us, those Italians just go around us, and I was watching them, and then poof, they disappear. So So the like the leader said like, accident, we have to do something. So next thing you know, the guy fell, the girl fall on the top of him. So it just like she broke all the other climber, like his collarbone and stuff. So I have to proceed to a rescue, which, so now I'm with my Isaac, like helping, pulling the rope on stuff. I have no clue of what's going on. And then we finally rescue them. And then the leader said, well, do you want to keep going? I'm like, yeah, why not? So the two like Italian climber go down, and then I keep climbing, and I have like two in my ropes. Like, so we keep going. And then you have this giant guy, like through the whole trek, he was saying how great he was and how he climbed Aconcagua, whatever. So he's like this 6'4" guy, and he's behind me. And you have to be in sync. So if you not in synchronization when you hike and when you climb and when you're in ropes, then you just become a burden. You can become a weight. We have to every single time pulling you. You know what I mean? So therefore, it became an issue because he started being slower and slower and slower. So it was basically like he couldn't really move anymore because he was too tired. It was just his body was exhausted. And then that was done. And the guy in front of me, Bill, starting having like not a cerebral edema, but he was starting having a little bit of a start being a little bit delusional. So we like the leader stop and say, okay, well, we're going to stop here. We're going to wait for you, Sophie, because, for you to just go on a different kind of like group to go to the summit, because I was totally fine. But then no one was coming. Like, this guy was start being very delusional. This guy could start not moving at all. So the leader is like, well, Sophie, we need to go down. I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. So I didn't summit the Cotopaxi, but it was really magnificent because it's kind of where I fell in love with the concept of climbing. It's like you look around and you see the top of all these mountains, like the snow-capped. It looks like mountains, and then you have the clouds. It looks like you have those lakes in it. You have like, it's like, because you have those mirror, it looks like the sea. And then you look under, and it looks like you look at the beyond, like the seaweed, and underneath the ocean. It totally changed your whole perspective of the world. It was just really magical. And I'm like, I need to go back to that. Fast forward, like, anyway, like this guy, Dan, couldn't move, and so he slid because it was an angle, and I was feeling really good. So I was able to just proceed to his rescue with a leader behind me, just in case. So the whole experience really was just it was a lot of fun for me.
So you finished Cotopaxi.
Yes.
Come back.
And I'm like, I want to go back, but I need first to know what I'm doing. So I signed up to a How to Survive Extreme Cold training.
In New York?
From a work standpoint and location standpoint, everything that I'm talking about is in New York City.
Okay.
I'm still working as a trader, and I'm still like in New York City. And then as vacation, I'm like, I'm gonna actually do a training in the Seattle region, Mount Baker, how to survive in extreme weather. So I did that. So it was just 1 week. And then after that, so I did the rugby thing, and then I got a little bit injured. So then now we're on the kind of the December thing. And then I went to Mexico, and now I just climbed it was like 3 peaks. And again, I was with 2 guys, and they practiced a lot. One just put a gym in his house to just get ready, and then the guide saw me, and for me it was very easy. I was up and down and doing that. And it's like, Sophie, did you ever think going to do a 8,000 meter, which is a 26,000 feet and above? And I'm like, yeah, why not? And he's like, okay, well, let me train you for that. So he trained me for 1 year, and I did maybe 17 summits with him. And I mean, there's a bunch of story. I climbed Aconcagua, I did bunch of story. There's always this as well. So I really, some people, they have the climbing the nice way. In my case, I really bring the snow. There's always drama. So it's never been kind of like this easy peasy things. There's always pretty much dramatic things happening. And so therefore it's kind of it's good because I'm really prepared. I don't have this naive romantic version of climbing of everything goes well and I don't know how to deal when there's actually trouble. And then anyway, after this whole training and this whole like drama stuff, then he said, yeah, you're good to go. Like you're good to go to climb Everest. And then in 2008, basically 2 years later,
so you go to Everest and you use one of those services, like that you pay. Like it's a lot of money, right? It's about $100,000, right?
Okay, so I got like more like the lighter version. I just got like yes, I had a Sherpa, and it was more like 40,000, something like that. But it was very rustic.
But how do you take that time off of work?
Okay, so that I was able to negotiate. So I negotiate really hard on that. So I wanted to go climb in 2007. But they didn't agree on that. So I said for 2008, I was able to put all my vacation. I was able to get a leave of absence. Don't lose my job. I was able to just really
you mean
work.
3 months, right?
2 months.
2 months.
Yeah.
Because you have to acclimate there for what?
Well, like a month and a half.
A month and a half at base camp.
Yeah, no, the acclimatization. So there's different ways of acclimatizing, right. But the idea is really you just go up to get the oxygen. So you go more than 1,000 feet, then you would have to most likely go down. But then you just, the idea is like you go as high as you can to a certain limit. So that's why you do the carry. So for instance, when you climb Everest, you go from base camp to Camp 1, Camp 1 to base camp, base 1 to Camp 1, you sleep, Camp 2, and then you go down. Base 1 to Camp 2, you skip the Camp 1 because there's some rocks, it's like a little bit dangerous. So you go from base camp to Camp 2, you sleep, and you go down. So the idea of acclimatization is kind of like, so it's a double positive because not only you acclimatize yourself, you learn to know the way, you kind of like time yourself a little bit, and you just carry. You're going to carry your food, you're going to carry your sleeping bag on the mountains. So when you're ready, then you can just go, and you go light, and you.
So you climb Everest in 2008?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you have a Sherpa. Are you still in touch with the Sherpa?
Well, I went back to Nepal, and I lived 1 year in Nepal in 2011.
After you but let's just talk about Everest, because Everest is that Everest is littered with the bodies of people as adventurous and as that are athletes, that are smart, intelligent people that are motivated like you, and you're literally passing by hundreds of bodies of people that trying what you're doing. How do you get yourself to say that's not going to be me?
Oh, because I know that I can say no. Like, I have no problem with that. So that is very powerful, because the thing is like, you basically, well, of course, there's always accident for sure, but there's this concept of you always push yourself, and then it's kind of like, and it's when you die. So for instance, you start freaking out and everything become risk, so then you die. Or you just start to overestimate yourself and underestimate the mountains. You just, gonna get injured. So in my case, I feel really confident. I say no. I say no many times. Like Cotopaxi, for instance. When I say I didn't summit, I could literally see the top.
But you wouldn't do it?
No.
Why?
Well, because one is like my teammates were like sick, so I had to go down. But even though on another one, after Everest, I did some really hardcore climb, which is alpine climb, which is like one of the hardest way. And there was this one, it was incredibly hard, and it was the way the snow is. So when then you have a snowfall, and then the sun like gonna bake like the first layer, and it's gonna be hard, and then it's fall, and then it's hard. So when you put an ice screw, it seems like it's anchored, correct? But it's not. So it's more like a layer, like a millefeuille. Like it's like layered.
Like a millefeuille. I love a millefeuille. Do you make a good millefeuille?
No,
I bet you do.
No, I don't. I'm like a terrible cook. So
why are you a terrible cook?
Why?
You think that I'm gonna get a Michelin. Like if I say this to you and I put this in your head and I say, Sophie, in 2 years you're gonna have a Michelin star. Yeah. I bet you could do it.
Maybe, but I don't want to. That's the thing. Is like, I think it's important. Like I know it's not. Well, it's not what I want. It would not make me happy.
So you said no when you saw that there was risk. So you're not.
So this one is like, for instance, you know that your hook is fine, but you know that the whole thing, so you basically on like, let's say fits, like maybe, I don't know, like a lot of fits that can just slide. It's like those plates, it's ice plate, soft snow ice plate, so everything can go. So it's not worth it. Because you will not be able to just save yourself because the whole thing, and it's like thousands of feet. So it's just not worth it. I mean, for me, it's just not worth it.
So you get to the top of it. Tell me that moment. Let's talk about that. And then I want to talk about some lessons for life here. So you when you turn around, when you get to that summit, what is that feeling like?
On Everest?
Yeah.
Actually, I saw the curvature of the Earth.
Oh, that's so cool.
It is really cool. It's really...
So the Earth is round.
The Earth is round.
You know about these Americans that think this? Yeah, the crazy.
But I even feel I saw Bangladesh, which will be crazy, okay? But it's what I feel I did. And I don't know, it was... You see, the thing is like, and I understand like the summit is beautiful, but what is more beautiful is like throughout the process, you leave it all. You like wake up and you can touch. You see those beautiful landscape, correct? When you're in a plane, forget you are there, and then you touch it, you live it, you feel it. It's just so different. And what people don't realize it with the barometric pressure, because there's less barometric pressure. The light just is different. It just, the prism are different because there's like the molecules are more like spread out. So you have this whole new all these new colors. It's like spectacular.
That is true.
Yeah, I think it's really, I mean, that's the thing, is I'm a total romantic on that way. It's kind of like climbing just allow me just to be there. A lot of time people, and they usually totally misunderstand me. They think I'm an overachiever, which I think I'm a doer, but because I do and I don't care, I move on. And then I think that they think I'm an adrenaline junkie. With the trading, with the fencing, with the climbing, the stuff. It sounds like it, but I'm really not. I have no adrenaline. It doesn't. I don't have that.
So what motivates you?
It's that. It's like that. The whole beauty is like you are able to have access to beauty. Like you cannot undo that. Like when you go where I climb, like K2, I climb all those big mountains. It's spectacular. Or even like it's just. Like there's no other words than beautiful, like honestly. And I feel the biggest mistakes like a lot of people do as a climber is you go always from A to B. But if you don't enjoy, if you only on the performance, it just becomes a very binary. I make it or I don't make it. But forget about it. Like the whole joy of being there.
Is the journey.
It's a journey. It's just so amazing. Actually, when I climbed Everest, they were calling me Little Sherpa. So everybody was going at 3 a.m. and stuff, but because I was going super fast, so I could actually avoid like all this like...
All the traffic
jam.
What do they call it? What's the word? Embouteillage.
Embouteillage, yeah. Yeah, but I could just do it quickly, and then I was like, just having fun with... I was living my own life. Like the Sherpa was shaving and drinking beers it was just cool. It was just fun. Saying that, when I climbed Everest on the summit day, I was sick and I was throwing up and I couldn't drink, I couldn't eat. So it was not the best condition for me, but it was okay.
You did it.
Yeah.
So, wow. So now let me take us back a little bit to what you're doing now, and then I want to ask you some sort of bigger questions. So now you have a business called the Financial Sherpa, and you help people.
Yes.
Right.
And the Divorce Sherpa.
And the Divorce Sherpa, right.
Yes.
So you've now taken your skills as a person who understands finance, understands divorce, and you help people sort of plan their lives and financially and understand how to get through it and how to go from two incomes maybe, or an intact family to not an intact family.
Yeah.
And that's, by the way, such an important thing to have, because a lot of times maybe you were a stay-at-home mother or a stay-at-home father and you didn't manage finances, you've been out of the workforce for a while, and maybe your spouse was the one who made the investments and you don't know where to put your money, how you're going to survive, and you could help them with that.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely like super confusing. I always say that, in divorce, it's like you are living literally one of the most stressful time in your life, and you have to make one of the most important decisions of your life. Like, how is it fair to be able to do that? So if you don't have the Sherpa, if you don't have help and support, then you just really feel overwhelmed and you really, stuck, wondering, like stressed out. So all these like feelings that can be just like overwhelming.
Wow.
Because you don't know what you don't know.
So as somebody like you who's achieved so much, summited all of these mountains, World Cup in the in fencing, traded, learned new languages. I know that you mentioned to me the other day you were trying to learn Turkish.
I am.
You are learning Turkish. And what other languages do you speak?
Well, I used to speak German.
Right.
Before I moved here.
Yeah.
And I understand basics like Italian and Spanish.
Well, right, of course, right, because they're close to French,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah. My daughter learned Japanese, and I understand a little bit now.
Oh, she learned Japanese?
Yeah.
Like fluently?
Yeah.
How old is she?
She's 12.
She learns Japanese.
Well, she studied at COVID because I didn't know how to keep her.
And she didn't, without immersion, she learned it from books and videos and.
Yeah, but very, very quickly. Kids.
No, I sure. Well, I know kids, but that's like saying like if
she's
I say
a little bit like me.
No, she's like you. I mean, you can't say that though. Like you're just like, like I just World Cup after 3 months. Like, come on. Like, no, I don't know kids. Like kids don't pick up Japanese from books.
Yeah,
that's extraordinary.
Yeah,
So, what do you tell the people that don't have the Sophie module? Right? You know what a module is? Like they don't have what you have. Like they're not born. You have some. I firmly believe it, and you're gonna disavow this, but I think you have the universe, you were born with some module that most people don't have. That's my view on you. I think obviously you work hard, you work harder than everybody else, and that's important too. But I think you do have something genetically in your soul, however you want to think of it, that's different. You got a gift.
But I do as well, like, for instance, when I wrote books and stuff like that, or when I quit my job at Marketing to open my company, or when I kind of like kind of work it out in my whole head. It's almost like if you have all those paths and then I just see it.
Oh, wait, but you're also a model, right? Didn't you model for a while?
Oh, yes, that was hilarious.
Right, so you model, right?
Oh, yeah.
Then you're a children's author?
Yeah, but when I model, it was very funny because, of course, I don't look like a model.
You're not tall, right?
Usually, well, I know, and then the funny anecdote is, so I did that 4 years in a row. And it's like this show, and you walk, like the catwalk.
Right.
And they were all so tall. And they said, number 17. And I, like, even with my hand up, they couldn't see me. Like, I'm serious. But anyway, and it's so funny because I'm smiling a lot, but when you walk, you cannot smile.
Right, you have to give that
so you have
blue
to
steel.
Oh, my God. It was the hardest part for me. But anyway.
So what do you tell the regular folks? Like, how do we get some of the Sophie like magic? What's the takeaway? What's the idiom? What's the metaphor? What's the line that you tell people? Like how do you think about life to achieve these things that may be holding you back, or you want to do something that's different? What could you condense that to one expression?
Yeah, like everything is possible. Just do it.
Everything is possible.
Yeah, that's really like, yeah. I carry even that in the mountains. Yeah.
Okay, but is that? But you have to live that, right? Everything is possible.
Yeah, that's my motto. I live it.
Everything is possible.
Yeah.
But
I mean, listen, like. I really strongly believe that. I think that we put so much limit on ourselves because of whatever. There's always something, there's always an excuse, there's always a what if, there's always you just meet all these absolutely wonderful, talented people and they don't do much because they don't do much.
Wow, so you just have to embrace the philosophy that everything is possible.
Yeah.
And even if it's seemingly impossible, like if I say, I want a World Cup in fencing,
yeah,
I could say everything is possible, but let's be realistic. It's not possible.
That's not true.
You don't think that's true?
No, I don't think it's true at all.
Wow.
I really don't.
Wow.
Because the thing is, like, for instance, if you want to do that, you would just maybe just understand what is fencing and choose your weapon. And 2, just kind of like, again, just embody it.
Right, but...
And then you're just gonna, if maybe, you may be more like a muscle guy, like muscle repetition guy, and then maybe you're gonna practice more. You see, in my case, what I didn't tell you is when I was fencing, what was actually the very unique piece of me, beside the fact I just grew fast in this sport, is I could do it in both hands. I could do it on the right side and on the
ambidextrous.
left side. I'm a true ambidextrous, which that is very unique.
The dyslexic ambidextrous.
Yeah, I can write the same word with two hands, either the same way
so
or
you
like
have
that.
you have a gift.
I'm a total, I'm total.
Well, and that means you have a right brain, left brain.
Yes.
Sort of some equality there, which makes sense.
But they have different things. So, but I could do that. My point is, if you want to become a world champion, you can totally do it. I mean, I have no doubt about it.
Wow. All right. How do people find you? Where do they find you on the web? What's your website?
Well, you can go at either financial-sherpa.com or divorce-sherpa.com.
Wow. Okay. And you're Connecticut-based, but you work with anybody, right? Other states?
I work actually united, throughout the whole country.
Throughout the whole country?
Yeah. I expanded because I homeschool my daughter.
Right. Oh, so you can do it. And are you and you also can make investments for people as well, right? Are you like a registered broker dealer or whatever that's called? Yeah.
So on the Divorce Sherpa, the Divorce Sherpa is really, I'm acting more as a divorce consulting, financial consulting when people, they either thinking of divorce or during the divorce. I'm really here to help them and hold their hand. And the Financial Sherpa, it's really here to help them with the settlement. What the next step, how to start.
You're a wealth manager.
I do from the whole budget to the wealth management side.
But if somebody wanted to come to you, they're not going through divorce, they're like, hey, I'm not happy with the person who's investing for us. You're just a typical, what we call, we used to call them stockbrokers, but wealth, now it's wealth management.
Yes.
All right. So we can find you there. Oh my God. Sophie, this was amazing. I'm telling you, you're amazing. I'm going to try to adopt this view. Everything is possible. It's because sometimes life you don't feel that way, you feel things are impossible sometimes. And that's normal, I think, to feel that way.
Yeah.
But if you really say that everything is possible, then I guess for you the sky literally was the limit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you were at 28,000 feet or 26 or
about 29.
29.
Well, it's the same.
Well, what's it, 28, 29? I was just in Park City, Utah, and we were staying at 8,000 feet, and I was dying. I was like, 8,000, but it was beautiful. But you're right, the air is different. So thank you so much. I appreciate you, and check her out at those websites. Thank you.